Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Nick, and welcome back to the Nick and Doug Express, where I like to express myself on just movies, TV, music, really whatever. Today's topic is 13 Reasons Why Season 4, the final season, just dropped on Netflix. 10 episodes. Took a little while to binge because they're like hour-long episodes, and I really was interested just to see where the show was going to end and how it all was going to wrap up. So, with that being said, let's get into 13 Reasons Why Season 4. So, starting off with my pros. This season automatically begins with Clay as the narrator, and that was something that really this show has been missing since season 1. They had him narrate a little bit in season 2, but season 2 is totally different, had different people narrating it, and because of that, it really wasn't focused on Clay. And so Clay has been my favorite character since the first season, and because of just the whole dynamic of the first season, it was Hannah that was the one narrating. So even though he was the main character, he was not narrating. So coming into season 4, a lot of the complaints about season 3 was that they brought a totally new character in, played by Annie, and just made no sense for her to narrate. Clay should be narrating, and that's the first pro, is that they fixed that. Clay's narrating every episode this season. My other pro is that it's 3 episodes shorter, which I was not expecting. I wasn't sure if that was released. I was expecting it to be 13 episodes, case in point, first 3 seasons, but 10 episodes, so they shortened it down, which cut those extra 3 episodes, which for this show I think saved just a bit of time, so they weren't trying to force even more drama and episodes throughout the season. So I found that as a plus. Also, I don't know if I want to say simplified, but because Clay's narrating, it's focused in on him. He's the only one in particular that is the main focus. There's other, storylines and focuses going on, but at the core of season 4 is Clay. He is what is making the show, which I feel like should have been the focus since season 2, since he was that close to Hannah, but that's not what we got. So it's happening in season 4, and automatically the first episode already felt better than the first 2 opening episodes of the last 2 seasons. I had to really go back and watch season 2 and 3 because I could not watch them when they came out, and I only watched them now so I could, get to season 4 just to have it all fresh in my mind. And I remember when I first saw season 2, I was like, did not like that first episode. Didn't watch it after that. I came back to season 3 to see if anything else would change. Didn't like it even more. Didn't watch again. So, of course, now season 4, I did watch them. That's another video. Season 4, first episode was the best since the original premiere. I was engaged for the most part. I would say I was engaged the entire episode. It brought on new discussions, finally focusing on Clay and his trauma, all the things that have happened to him in the first 3 seasons leading into the 4th season. It made sense to me. It wasn't like something that just kind of came out of left field. It might feel like that because it hasn't been the main issue until now, but having it as the last season, I feel like slowly building those breadcrumbs from the first 3 seasons at least made it justifiable enough to have that as the main theme of Clay's issues in season 4. So there was a lot of positives going into that first episode of season 4, and I was just happy and relieved that he was the main character. He was narrating, and it felt way tonally better than the past 2 seasons. Not on par with season 1, but I'll get into that. Basically, season 4 being just 10 episodes really got to shorten it down and show the storylines bit by bit, each episode kind of focusing on a different thing. We follow them kind of in the past, around Christmas time in the beginning, and then building all the way to graduation at the last episode. And I felt like there was a bit of not that much of a fast pace. They were really trying to replicate that first season, and to me, they did do it better than the last 2 seasons. So with, I believe, all my pros getting out of the way, I'll get into my meh parts now. The meh parts to me were just that it did feel like they were kind of trying to do a rehash of the first season. Obviously, they're not completely copying it because it's about Clay, not Hannah, and but it was more of like the template and format. It was like they were trying to do what they did with Hannah Baker, except have Clay do his voiceover, and I'm pretty sure it was him narrating to the therapist. I think it was him most of the time narrating. The whole thing about the first season was Hannah was narrating through the tapes, and so I feel like maybe sometimes the narrating was just to be for us, but that's where I got kind of confused if it was just him narrating to the therapist all the time, or if sometimes it was just him narrating. It was a little bit confusing to me. So that part, it was just kind of like, okay. But when he was talking to the therapist, I really enjoyed it. I guess one of my other pros I should have mentioned is the therapist. The acting is really good this season. Some people might complain. That might be because of the writing. Obviously, if you're not getting that good material, you're not going to be that good. But again, and then I feel like just one of my last meh parts is just that there's like a couple filler episodes, really mainly just one, the camping episode. Really didn't care for it. They had cool things going on. The season does do a lot of interesting stylistic choices, more than just, you know, trying to do a murder mystery or just trying to do courtroom cases. It felt like it was, you know, trying to deal with something like anxiety, and you know, depression's always been a big part, but focusing on Clay and all these things, you're able to show his viewpoint again and how he was feeling. And it did bring me back some season 1 vibes. It was making me feel, at least it felt more bingeable and actually like more tonally better than the last 2 seasons. I think I said that already, but it really just, I had that more bingeable quality, and really didn't have me cringing that much, except for that camping episode, and then just, it might have been the college fair episode, but for the most part there really wasn't that much cringe for me, and so I was really happy about that. But those are my meh parts. Let me just get into my cons. And for my cons, it's very, you know, slim few, but with all of those other things being said, I, as a whole, obviously I enjoyed this season more than the last 2 for many reasons, but that's another video. This season as a whole, it's not that it feels stale, it just feels that it kind of was a little too late for Clay to finally be the narration. And I feel like some people might not like this season just because it's like, they took forever for Clay to finally be the main character again. Now they're gonna end this out, and now they're graduating, and it's like, what was the point of all this build up when it should have just ended in the first season? And if you're in that mind space where you really don't like the show already, maybe you won't like it that much. But I think for some people, if you do like the characters, which I think the biggest thing about this show in particular is that you do like these characters, so that's probably the biggest plus, is why you keep watching. And if you do, then I think you'll be fine where the show ends. And honestly, it's really up to you as the viewer. If you like this particular show, I think you're gonna like this season right on par with the first one. If not, then you might think it's a bit overhanded, especially in the themes of just the kids and characters going against the school. For me, it did seem to work. Sometimes it felt a little bit over the top, just how much they were really going against the school system, but I don't think you can blame it too much because it felt at least a little bit more realistic to me than the last season. So again, it's really hard to really narrow this show down because of just how many different places it's gone since season 1, when that was just about suicide, and now we're on to anxiety and, you know, school or schools causing the problems in teenagers' lives and a bunch of other stuff. So my biggest problem with this season is just that it might have been a little too late to actually get to this specific topic, but if you really just think about it and take the show as it is, I think it's really fine, but it's really just the way you view it. So with my final thoughts, a couple standout things was I really did enjoy the finale, I think, or series finale. It was probably one of the best episodes since season 1, and it is the best episode of season 4. I was really disappointed with the last 2 seasons finales. They both were really just not good episodes at all. I keep saying it, but season 1, as much as it's still the same show and teen drama, at least that one had a lot more substance and things going on. Last 2 seasons, just whew. But this season, definitely on par, very close. Does not beat season 1, but it's very close and has a very good ending point. Maybe it doesn't do exactly everything you wanted, but it does give you enough of maybe things you did want. It's not 100% perfect. It is a very long finale, but I think it is justifiable in it because of how much is going on, and the run times have been that long already for the most part. So I feel like it's pretty justifiable and kind of feels like a movie. A lot of stuff happens, things you don't quite expect, but they still end on positive notes, and I feel like this is the most positive the show's ended. It's been on a good note for this season and really built up. Again, the therapist arc was really good. I like that actor. He's a really good actor. All the actors do a good job. Dylan Minnette, I believe you say, is phenomenal. He does a really good job in his acting. All the characters, if you have liked these characters, seen them grow, you're gonna really like to see them finally graduate. And as much as this show has been pretty crapped on, and for good reason, the past 2 seasons, I feel like they at least gave them a more, not when I say this, they gave them something to actually move on and live on from, and they had really good topics and they presented them in a good way. And Annie was not annoying to me this time. She didn't get that much screen time, which I was happy about, and they did not make her and Clay a couple. I could go on and on, but for the most part, they really did a lot of things better than the last 2 seasons. And if you want to see how it ends, then I would definitely say check out this season. It does a lot of closures for many characters, and you get to say your goodbyes in pretty good ways. So for me, I would give this season a solid 8. And yeah, guys, I was not expecting to like it this much, but I was really hoping I would. And if you liked it, please express your opinions in the comment section. Like the video, it's greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button just so I can get as many people seeing my content. I really just want to talk about movies and TV shows. I really enjoy expressing my opinion. That's why I always tell you all to express your opinion. And coming up after this video, I will be uploading a ranking of all 4 seasons of this show, 13 Reasons Why, just because it's the end. So I thought I'd do a separate video on season 4 and then do all my rankings of this seasons of 13 Reasons Why. So that being said, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Express your opinions, and I'll see you in the next video to express my opinion again. Peace, guys.